Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired cook from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to another one of my bread videos. In this one I'll be showing you how I make my rye bread. Now, rye flour is low in protein and gluten, causing the bread to be dense, flat and heavy. So to make the finished bread lighter and rise more, I like to use 2/3 rye flour to 1/3 white bread flour. And here's a list of the ingredients you'll need if you want to follow along. There'll also be a list in the description box below the video. I'll start by preparing the yeast mixture. First I'll add the sugar to the warm water, followed by the yeast, and give that a good mix until the sugar and yeast are completely dissolved. Next ingredient is the black treacle. If you can't find this treacle, a good alternative is black strap molasses or ordinary molasses. This gives the bread a dark, rich flavour. The best way to measure the treacle is using scales as shown. Whichever way you do it, you'll need 30 grams or 2 tablespoons. And that's 29 grams, close enough. Now set the jug aside to make sure the yeast is alive and active. Now to a warm bowl, add the flours and whisk in the salt. If you can see the top left of the screen, the yeast mixture in the jug is clearly active. So now I know the yeast is alive and well. Now add the liquid and the oil to the bowl and mix it together as shown. You can use a stand mixer if you like, but just until the ingredients come together. I'm just using a spatula today, as it only takes a couple of minutes by hand. Once it's all combined, cover the bowl and set the timer for 1 hour. My kitchen's around 21 degrees Celsius today, which is about 70 Fahrenheit. So yours may take a bit longer depending on the temperature of your kitchen. Once the time's up, you'll need to grease a suitable baking tray. I'm using lard to grease mine, but butter or oil will do the same job. Now flour the worktop and turn out the dough. As you can see, mine has risen pretty well. Flour the dough and start to knead it. Once it gets a bit too sticky, just add a little more flour. By the way, I'm just using white bread flour for the dusting. Knead the dough like this for 3 to 4 minutes, that's all it needs. Now form it into a loaf shape like mine and get it onto the greased tray. Now let it rest for a couple of moments while you get your bench cleaned up. Now cover the dough with a dry towel and set the timer for 30 minutes. When there's only 10 minutes left on the timer, preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius, that's 392 Fahrenheit or gas mark 6. I'm setting mine to 180 Celsius as my oven's fan assisted and it runs about 20 degrees hotter than indicated on the dial. To make the rye bread loaf crispy, you'll need a tray of hot water on the bottom shelf of the oven. And to make the loaf even crispier, you'll also need a spray bottle with some water in. And that's what your dough should look like at this point. Now I'll give it a light dusting of flour and score a couple of lines across the top. This will allow for expansion in the oven. It also looks good too. You'll need a really sharp knife or razor blade for this. Now I'll get it into the preheated oven and give the oven a couple of sprays with water. This will help to make the crust even crispier. And set the timer for 35 minutes. Once the time's up, take it out of the oven and get this beautiful rye bread loaf on a wire rack to cool. Then I'll come back and let you see what it's like on the inside. Okay, it certainly smells good, and as you can hear, it's wonderfully crisp. That's down to the steam created from the pan of water and the spray in the oven. This style of bread always has a close crumb, but it's not dense or heavy in any way, and that's due to the white bread flour I added to the recipe. I'll get some of my homemade butter on and give it a taste. I'll leave a link in the description box on how to make this butter at home. It's very easy to make. And just as I knew it would be, it's absolutely delicious. The texture is very much like wholemeal bread, but the black treacle gives the bread a distinctive, wonderful, not too sweet, dark, rich flavour. And this type of bread will be great with cooked meats like ham or pastrami, and definitely gets the usual thumbs up from me. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in the kitchen and bye for now.